Hey, good people. This is Rocky with Rocky's Reality, the #1 podcast for unfiltered and unapologetic culture, entertainment, and relationships. Tap in live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as I chat with some of the dopest artists, celebrities, influencers, entrepreneurs, and more. Make sure to catch us live Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Roku. See you soon. Welcome to Rocky's Reality, everyone. I am uber excited and I want to say grateful because we're about a week away from Thanksgiving. If you can believe it already, we're back around again to that time. And although I don't agree with the origin of Thanksgiving, I do love getting together with family and fellowshipping. And I am looking forward to kicking it and fellowshipping with my next guest. Tonight's guest, y'all, I still got his CD in my archives. Still got the first CD in my basement, got to dust it off. And I'm just grateful that he took the time to chat with me. He is a true Swengali, as I call it, R&B master, icon, legend, Grammy winning, platinum selling. Sway in the Morning called him the medicine for our community, and I truly agree. Without further ado, I am going to bring to the stage Mr. Radio Raheem himself, Mr. Quiet Storm, Raheem DeVaughn. Welcome to the show. So welcome, Raheem. I really appreciate your time. I'm definitely a day one fan. Like I said, I still got the CD. So before we could just stream and hit a button, I was going to the store buy your CDs. And of course, when we transferred to streaming, of course, I was streaming you. So it's just an honor to watch your career evolve. And I just want to say congrats and kudos to the past 20 years.
Oh, thank you so much. Peace and love. Thank you for having me on the show. For first and foremost, and yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a doozy of a journey. Um, these days, I just pray for more time and health, which is the greatest wealth.
I love that. And you know what? That's the maturity that we get now. Now that we in our big age, we realize that health is wealth. And I'm glad that you've been an advocate for that with your platform and with your work.
Hmm.
Not just massaging our soul with our spirit in our spirit with your music, but also letting us know that how we feed ourselves and what we're eating mentally and physically matters as well. So I really appreciate you using your platform for that. And so speaking of the past 20 years, I was watching a recent interview and you were saying that you heard a lot of imperfections on your first album. And I know as a creative myself, we always think like, oh, I could have did that better. I could have did a little something when you reflect back on some of your
Yeah,
work. So I was just curious because to me, the love experience was just what it needed to be. It gave all that it needed to give. Even 20 years later, it's
yeah.
push play for me. So I'm just interested as one artist to another. What would you say 20 years if you had to be able to redo the whole album?
Hmm.
Um, what would you change?
I mean, technically, that is the goal. I'm like one by one redoing the whole album. Like for just for creative fun, but to have a different interpolation of it, and then to connect with a younger audience as well. Um, but it's also business though too. Don't ever get it twisted. It's business. It's ownership for me. It's ownership of the master. Instead of partial ownership or just like a copyright, it's like full ownership of the master. You know what I mean? This go round. Initially originally I wanted to um, re-release the Love Experience on June 28th, and it became like a needle in a haystack of like um, confusion and things that I understood, but I didn't understand. You know what I mean? Like, why do I have to go to a third party to like re-release something that I created, my baby, my child, my thing? As artists, that's why it's so important to know what you're signing. You know what I mean? And this wasn't a situation where I signed necessarily like quote unquote a bad deal. Just at the time, like, with the amount of bread that like, job was fronting me at the time, getting a publishing deal, recording contract, as well. advance. I wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't have been able to have ownership. You know what I mean? That's what you get. That's what you gave up then. I mean, I think the deals now even worse, like the 360 deals and that type of thing. And although I got out of my deal, my contract, um, um, after after 5 years, it took me 5 years to like get out of the situation with Jive. Um, that was one of the things I kind of had to like to forfeit. It was like the ownership of the master. So, but I do have like ownership, from a copyright standpoint because I wrote the entire album, and I'm no longer in that publishing deal, um, as well. But I mean, like, yeah, when I think about when I- to speak to the imperfections, or the things that it's really just the things I would hear differently now, like, um, certain choices and just like, the not so clean note, you know, um, even down to like the mixing and the mastering of it. You know what I mean? At the time, it's just like, music's changed, technology's changed. But my ears have grown. They've gotten better. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I become more of a perfectionist now. Nowadays, I can walk away from something, listening with the ear of like, how can I make this either better, or maybe this is a little too complex. Let me simplify it for the
Mhm.
listener. You know what I'm saying? Make it
Mhm.
more digestible to the palate, to the ear, to sing along, and maybe make what can I do to simplify it that would make it more infectious? You know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
I recently had a business partner who I respect, and we're doing some business together, but outside of music, but I respect his musical ear. His name's Omar, and he just can't. He never comes. This first time, just like hanging out with me in the studio, and
Is
he,
that
and he
Omar
gave.
Wilson?
No, 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 no,
No.
no, not Omar Wilson, the artist. Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Different guy.
he's
Okay.
yeah, yeah. He was one of the founders of Black Alley. That is a really dope go-go band in the city, and um, yeah. But we're doing some business that's soon to be announced, right? But he came to hang out in the studio, and two young ladies are there and listening, everybody vibing, and then he gave me some like really dope constructive criticism that I didn't know I was going to hear, but I needed to hear. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like,
Yep.
so that was like really cool.
I love that. I love that. So, and of course, you have evolved, and that's what we do. Like, we evolve as we mature. And I know you just celebrated the 50th birthday, so it's just, even though you looks good, you look damn good for your age. So, you got that baby face. To me, you look the same. You just got have locks now as when you first
Thank
came
you.
out.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
So I love that. So speaking of re-releasing the songs out today. So last week we started with the the dance club mix of You
Yeah,
by
produced by
Terry Hunter.
with Grammy
And
Award
then
winning
now
Terry
you
Hunter.
got
Yeah.
the Quiet Storm mix out today. I'm loving the little maxi single. It's taking me back to the maxi single days. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
because the maxi single they will give you the acapella, they give you the
Yes,
instrumental.
that
Like,
piano, all of that.
yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
and
I even threw in I even threw in an open verse challenge, version out there for all the artists, calling all artists, my peers, whether you're a legacy artist or a new artist, go record your duet version, of you, and send it my way or upload it so I can, DM me or at me on your social media so I can check it out. And then, who knows, I might put it out officially, right?
now I love that. Yeah, so shoot y'all shot, y'all. Those out there, shoot your shot, shoot your shot. But
Yeah,
I'm loving that you love me especially different interpolation. That old Jill Scott,
yeah,
he loves me interpolation in there. I peeped that in there, and I love how you put that in there. So talk about
yeah.
how the reimagining came together because you truly are, and I'm so grateful that
Yeah,
artists like you are still
well,
out
yeah, I've
here
been getting
writing
into
music.
producing records and stuff like that, and so I do,
Mhm.
live streams, and the whole nine with that, and again, just reimagining it, just putting a different spin approach on it because I perform the song so much, right? It allows it was an easy process to kind of like, a lot of what I incorporated into this new version of you, um was it happened improvisationally, over the years, touring and things of that nature. So that's kind of like where that came from.
I love that. So I gotta ask, because I've always wondered, who is the young lady who had you want to tell your mama and your friends about her? Who is you, the original you inspired, Raheem? Who is she?
Oh man, it wasn't that record wasn't inspired by one woman. It was just that I wanted to have I wanted to have a anthem more so, um that I wanted to when I conceived the song, I wanted to write a song, I wanted to pen a song where when a woman listens to the song, that when all women listen to the song, they feel like the song is specifically about them, if that makes sense.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
that was the inspiration, but I can't say that like per se it was like, maybe I was in a relationship at the time, maybe I wasn't. I can't it's been so long.
20 years.
Yeah, I recorded that song in Philly. I don't feel like I was anything like deep at that time. Like I was really on the grind back and forth to Philly, working with Jazzy Jeff really heavy,
Mhm.
real heavy, his crew, and yeah, yeah, I can't say that that was like about someone specifically, you know what I mean? Like, um
Okay.
sometimes I write from a personal space, sometimes I write from a conceptual space. Sometimes I'm wearing it on my sleeve, sometimes it's inspired um by a film or a series I'm watching on Netflix, or a conversation with one of my sons, or you know what I mean? So like it's no rules to it when it comes to like creativity and inspiration, I believe.
Right, right. And that's why I tell people as artists, we liable to talk about anything. It might be something we saw, something we dreamt about.
Yeah.
It could be anything. So let's talk about how you are Mr. Quiet Storm. Now, y'all saying the original Quiet Storm. I know here in Detroit on FM 98, we got the Quiet Storm. So I'm like, you talking about the original Quiet Storm. What is
So
that
so
like?
s- so
You
so
being
so
on WHUR.
yeah, so to be clear, it is the original, so no disrespect to Detroit or anywhere in the planet where you've heard the Quiet Storm format, but the history of the Quiet Storm is that Kathy Hughes, who founded and owns, Radio One, has a slew of stations, you know what I mean? Who's ironically is like, Radio One is the competitor in my market here, technically. Um, um, she at the time she was on Howard's campus. I don't know if she was she was a student. Legend has it, on Howard's campus. Her and Melvin Lindsay were friends, or Melvin was she was either a student or teaching, one or the other, and Melvin was a protege of hers, a friend, and Melvin was on this station, which is 96.3 WHUR. And she said, maybe he was already on the air, or he was about to take a job on the air, at HUR, and she said, "You know what you need to do? You need to do a show called like The Quiet Storm." And now I don't know, uh, if she went so far as to say, "Hey, you should use the Smokey Robinson song Quiet Storm" and what have you, but um, it went on to be this very iconic show in DC, that everyone would listen to, and I grew up listening to The Quiet Storm. Like, everybody would like, when they got in the house, if you went from the car to the house, you cut it on in the house. You know what I mean? You kind of already had your station turned to WHUR at the time, and I remember hit the passing of Melvin Lindsay, who, he died from complications of HIV and AIDS. Complications of AIDS. Um, in a time where, um, we still didn't know, we didn't have the research that we have now as it relates to HIV and AIDS, and it, is every, to be to be free of your choice of your sexuality was a taboo thing and frowned upon, at that time, maybe, right? And but he was a legend, man. He was the voice of radio at night. He was a mood, he was a vibe. There were times that he would talk, but he it wasn't a real talkative show. It was about the records he was playing and he was putting you on to like the slow jams. You know what I mean? Like if
Mhm.
you look at this hoodie I have on here, this was a gift that I got for my 1 year anniversary from a young lady who works at the MGM, and so it's myself and Melvin on here, and
I love it.
yeah,
So
so
he was one of your role models, sounds
oh no,
like.
absolutely. I grew up listening to the Quiet
I
Storm. Like
love it.
like I want to do that one day. Like you know what I mean?
And
So
now you are. It's
and
coming
now
full circle.
so it's like it's man, you know,
So
it's an
speaking
old saying. They say if you want to make God laugh, make your own plans. Like if you'd have
of,
told me, I've been wanting to do radio since like for like 20, pretty much the entire time I've been an artist. Like from
mm,
the time I started doing interviews and doing radio runs with my radio reps, you know what I mean, at Jive Records. Shout out to Kill Tabby, shout out to Baby Sam, shout out to 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 all the moving pieces, back then at Jive. Um, like I always was fascinated with being on it. I always wanted to like, or I would kind of spin the interview and like talk about what I wanted to talk about. Like
right,
there's an
right.
art to doing interviews, there's an art to being an artist, you know what I mean? And I was
Yep.
like fascinated with the other side of it. Or sometimes I'm disenchanted where it's like, oh man, you asking the same questions that they asked on the last,
Right.
the
Exactly.
press
Right.
run or
And that's what I
whatever.
try to do. Yeah. Ask
Yeah,
questions
you know
that
what I
are
mean?
not
Like make it
on Google.
interesting. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I always wanted to do radio. It was no secret. Like, I had a
You got the voice.
podcast. I had a podcast before it was called a podcast. Like, I had the
Okay.
Raheem DeVaughn show from 2010 to 2013 before any podcast was like popping, or before we knew it was called the podcast.
Right.
I had the Raheem DeVaughn show every Sunday. I had everybody from I had would interview I, you from just the range of Boney James to Spike Lee
Ooh.
to Ti to Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? Like and they would come and I remember I never forget Ti stayed like almost 3 hours. You know
Ooh.
what I mean? Answered the
Ooh.
phone, talking to Tiny in the middle of the interview, the
Listen.
whole nine. It was the vibe we had whatever. We get the writer for the artist, and they just come and just like hang out, and in some cases not want to leave. You know what I mean? We just like kind of kick it. We had a area where you could perform. We had a sound stage where you could perform in there. So there were nostalgic like performances that happened, and then the mayor at the time would come out, different city officials and that type of thing. So that was from like 2010 to 2013. So, and then of course during COVID, like I just kind of put myself on a schedule where I was doing all different types of activities, sage and slow jams, mixtape Mondays, woke Wednesdays,
Listen.
where
Let's
I always
go.
incorporated like music and just like, connecting with the people and just trying to keep the
Exactly.
morale of where we were, as a country and as a planet at that time. So looking back on, I think all of those things um prepared me for what I'm doing. And I just had my 1 year anniversary, and
Yeah. And
shout out to that.
congratulations. It's
Yeah,
number
thank you.
one in the
Yeah, they're
ratings.
number one in the
Let's
city,
go.
number one nighttime music show in the city. The goal is to be syndicated at some point, and
Let's go.
to spread my wings. I'm just enjoying the process. It's been really dope, and to be able to connect with community and where I grew in a place where I grew up in a different light. Because
Right.
you being Raheem DeVaughn, the artist for 20 years, you do look to think and say like, I need something different, or like what's something that I can do to reinvent myself, or how do I stay in love with what it is that I do? Because
Right.
during that window of like 2010 to 2013, I fell out of love with and disenchanted with the artistry of it. You know what I mean? Looking back on it, and didn't there was an uncertainty of being this independent artist. You know, walking away from the label at 20, back in 2010, I didn't get dropped. Like I dropped the label. Like Jay-Z
Mm.
says, like, you know what I mean? Like I found a loophole in the agreement, and that's how I was able to get out of the deal. Um, we both agreed that okay, if you feel like you do better on your own, go do that. And if had I known
Looks
what I
like
know
you have.
now, I would have hit the ground running. But I took 3 years to put out an album, and just that whole thing. You know what I mean? Um, so
But you've
yeah,
been
so
pretty consistent. You've been
no,
pretty
no,
consistent
that
though.
that yeah, definitely. I
I'm
mean,
looking at the discography, like even like through COVID, you released something
oh yeah,
during
yeah,
that
yeah,
time. I mean,
yeah.
it
I
was like
mean,
nonstop. Your artistry
yeah,
is just
Yeah,
It's and that's what I yeah.
there are
You
periods of
got that
time
work
where
ethic.
there's periods of time where I'll do, I may do 3, 4 projects in a year. Like it's like, if you're the artist that if you're the type of consumer of music that only listens to the radio, right? You might miss it. You know what I mean? Because
Yep,
everything that I do necessarily isn't for the radio. You know what I mean?
exactly.
And then there are things, I don't feel like you should go to a radio unless you have a plan. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm,
You have a plan, you have a budget, you have all the things, a marketing budget to do all the things that are necessarily that need to be done. You know what I
I
mean?
love it.
The beauty in what I do as an artist is that, being a legacy artist is that I have a fanship. We have social media, this tool that we can use where I can just like say, hey, I got new music out, y'all, and put ads on it, and the world's gonna
There we
know, and
go.
they're gonna pull up and sing the songs. And and that's
Yep.
what I really realized with the Summer of Love, Fall in Love, Winter in Love, the all seasonal pack that I did, over the last couple of years. It was like I remember I put the Summer of Love project out, and I'm like, yo, they singing the songs, and these songs are not on terrestrial radio.
No,
You know what I
cuz
mean?
the
So
true
so
the
that's
day
when
ones, no, we follow you.
yeah,
I
that's when
told
I
people
real
many a
yeah,
time,
that's
like, y'all know Raheem Devon
yeah,
got something out. They like that. No, he don't. I was like, yes, he do. Like true
yeah,
fans know that
yeah.
music
They
is
know,
not just found on
yeah,
the radio. Like, and really
yeah,
a lot of B-side jams, they ain't on the
yeah.
radio. Like some of the best cuts that I've heard, and really on some of your albums, have not
Thank
made
you.
it to the radio.
Yeah, oh yeah,
So
no, for
I
sure.
love
Yeah,
that.
no doubt. But
Yeah.
my rollout right now is a B side, is A side, B side, C side rollout. Like, I'm putting out a single instead of putting it all on one body of work. I'm putting out these singles that, over the course of 3, 4 days apart from one another, and just try something new and see how that works for the algorithm, and how people embrace it. Of course, like the Terry Hunter house remix dropped this past Friday. The uh the 20-year anniversary single pack dropped at midnight last night, and then on the 24th I have a new single called 20 Lessons of Love,
Listen,
which is the
I gotta.
anthem for the, for the tour.
Listen,
Yeah,
I
have you
gotta
heard?
go peek.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. So,
Yep.
what you think?
I,
So what you think about it?
you were schooling me. You were schooling me. You were schooling me. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, you was running it down, and I know I can't talk too much about it because it ain't out yet.
Nah,
Uh
you good. You can talk about it. You can talk
yeah.
about it. Like, it's cool.
I'm loving it. I'm digging it. I'm loving how you threw it in there, how you
Yeah.
not just letting people know, like, if you want love that is sustainable,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
love just, and that is, like you said, it's a action. It's a
Yeah. I
verb
say
that's
it's
an
not. It's not.
action.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not just a
The
4 letter
grass ain't
word.
always greener.
Yeah.
Look,
It's
listen, those,
keeping your word when you get, like, these are personal lessons that I've learned from
yeah.
being both in, like, monogamous relationships, polyamorous relationships. Like I like
Because
um
love is all encompassing. It's not
it's
just
a,
one
yeah,
thing.
it's
And
yeah,
that's what makes
it's
love so
yeah.
great. It can come in so many shapes and forms, and you can
And
feel it
it's
in so
yeah,
many
and it's
different ways.
and it's the good, and the real love comes with the ingredients of good, bad, and ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm, say
And
it. Ooh,
it
say
comes
it.
with the good, bad, and the ugly. It's
Yes, baby.
compromise. You don't
I gotta give an applause on that one because
you really understand somebody's you really understand the depth of what somebody has love and loyalty for you when it all goes left, or when or in some cases, if you decide to say, hey, you know what, I love you enough to let you go be to let you go have what it is that whatever it is your heart desires,
yeah,
or I love you enough to allow somebody else to love you in a way that I can't. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
absolutely. That's not being
Or
unselfish.
what I mean? Like, but
Selfless.
that's where when there's conflict or unhappiness, that's where you really find out the nature of who you're dealing with, what you're dealing with. Um, you
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. Yep.
the
I've been married
insecurities, the
23 years, so
rawness.
I totally get it. It ain't always pretty, and it
It
ain't
ain't
always,
always put. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you gotta get go through it to get through it though. Get through it though.
And in reality is, some people are here for a reason, some people are here for a season,
Season.
some people are
Let's
here for a
go.
lifetime, and some people you won't get it right. You won't get it right in this lifetime, and maybe get it right in the next. So, like, these are, I can't wait for the world to hit a record. It drops on November 24th, and
I love that.
um
And that's
you
gonna
know
be part of the album that's coming out in the spring, right? The
Yeah, well,
quiet.
not even in the spring. I think we're gonna wait till the spring, but we're either gonna do first quarter, you know what I mean, and then come back with something, right before the next tour, or we'll do something, it'll be first or second quarter that I drop the next uh project. I'm on the
The
fences.
Quiet Storm Lover. That's the
Yeah,
Quiet
the
Storm
Quiet
Lover.
Storm. Yeah, that's the Quiet
Okay.
Storm lover. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But first up, let's talk about, and I appreciate your time.
Hmm.
The 20 Lessons of Love tour, which I hate you ain't coming to Detroit. Ain't no
Well,
Detroit.
I'm
Even though I know
I'm
you be in the D all the
I
time. I
just
know
yeah,
you be
yeah,
in the D all the time, but I'm
I
mad that
just
ain't no
yeah,
Detroit date on that tour.
I shout out to Detroit. What up, though? I just left Detroit. And I'll be in Detroit. I'll be in Detroit. This whole time, I promise you, it's gonna be first, second quarter. Definitely popping out in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Okay.
it's
I
it's
know you
another
be
tour.
here though. That's why I was like,
It's a
oh,
yeah, it's another
I
it's
know
a
you
it's a
because you know we loves you.
it,
You know you one of our faves, right? You
it's
know
a
that, right?
I'll take that. I'll take all the roses today I can get. It's a tour that's pretty much inked in. It's locked in. I can't say with whom it's with yet. But I'm super to involve two other acts, and I'm super excited about um the announcement of it and when it happens. So just Detroit, hold on. Anybody anywhere where I have not been or am not going on this run, trust me, we're gonna spin the block on you soon enough.
Okay, I know because I know you be here. I'm just being selfish a little bit because I know you
It's
be
all
here a lot,
good.
and so I'm definitely gotta see you the next time you here. So I know we gotta wrap it up, and I appreciate your time,
Yeah.
Raheem. I wanted to get a little bit into talking about going back to Melvin Lindsay and rest in peace
Uh-huh.
to him, the legacy.
Uh-huh.
Is he part of the reason why you teamed your Love Life Foundation teamed with Gilead Sciences for HIV awareness
It's
and
actually
health?
Gilead. Yeah, it's Gilead
Gilead,
Sciences.
Gilead.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Gilead. Yeah, shout out to
Gilead.
Gilead. He is not the sole reason, but he's absolutely one of the reasons that 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 I've done this partnership. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like I'm a community-based person. I've done many things in the community. I've done Queen for a Day takeovers in Detroit. I've been out to Flint when they had the water crisis to drop off waters. I've been to shelters out there to drop kids. Went crazy at Target and at the time, and and deliver gifts and stuff like that. Play Santa, all the things, right? Every good deed done doesn't have to be seen. You know what I mean? I'm just using it as a point of reference, but I'm a community guy at the end of the day. Like like anytime you see me, just know it's a party with a purpose. Even if you don't know the purpose, it's a party with a positive purpose. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Um, and so yeah, I've been doing HIV prevention, HIV awareness for long, even before I started working with Gilead. But this
mm.
partnership in particular it's been very, very, very dope. Shout out to the entire Gilead team, um, and all the moving pieces that um have helped. This was a very busy year for me with them, and I'm looking forward to hopefully renewing that partnership for 2026 and 2027 and so forth and so on. Until it's not needed. Hopefully, I live for a day where we don't have to have conversations about um, HIV and getting tested and knowing your status and all of the things, right? But the reality is that Black women are being affected the most by HIV here in the States right now. They make up for more than half of the new cases, but only about 13, 14% of the population here in the United States, and beyond that, on an average, you have 100 people plus daily that are tested positive,
Mm,
you
mm,
know. Um, and that demo of like 14 to 28 is getting hit heavy too. Um,
mhm.
I
Yeah,
mean, so many groundbreaking things have happened, you know, as it relates to HIV and AIDS awareness. And you can be HIV and be positive and be healthy and live a long, healthy life.
yes.
So
Because
knowing
they
your
have
status
different,
is,
yeah, they
yeah,
have different things like PrEP.
yeah,
We've come
yeah,
a long way with it. Yep.
which I was gonna speak on too. Now, you know, there's a lot of times a lot of misconceptions about what PrEP is. Like you can't be
Mhm,
on PrEP and be HIV positive. Like PrEP
mhm,
PrEP is a HIV preventable medication that anybody who is, uh, if you feel like anybody can, let me rephrase this. Anybody can be, everybody is HIV possible. Let's just start there. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Regardless of what your sexuality is, or you know, whether you're dating or you're married, depending on if somebody stepping outside of the marriage, like what I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios as to how it can
Mhm.
happen, right? So
Yep.
getting tested regularly is a very important thing. You know, dispelling the taboos and the stigmas of
Mhm.
feeling comfortable about talking about your sexuality, feeling comfortable about talking about your sexual health. You know what I mean? Is a very important thing. You know, me myself, I've been on. I'm telling my sisters, my brothers. Whether you're straight, heterosexual, whether you're LGBTQ, like talk to your primary care about prep. You know what I mean? I found out
Mhm.
about mine through at the time I was looking for a new primary care doctor, Dr. Hodge, who's here in DC. Everybody knows my Dr. Hodge. He's like really cool, and an advocate for prep and sexual health and awareness. And the first thing we started going through the sexual history, and he was like, "Are you on prep?" And then then he's concerned. He was like, "Man, you a ladies' magnet. You better be, you out here
I
putting
mean,
on
you
it.
did say you've been polyamorous,
Like
so
if you out here rolling the dice, or whatever, like on a very serious note, we had a really dope conversation that I hadn't had with a primary care doctor
mm,
to date. You know what I mean? And
mm,
I was looking for something specific, right?
right.
And he was that and more.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I've been on prep since like the last 3 years. You know what I mean? And
I
again, it's
love
like
that.
that's an added thing. That's like it's not the green light to go raw dogging it.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it's a lot of other stuff out here that we don't want. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
and yeah, it's been a learning experience for me too. Growing up, I'm a half a century, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, we don't seen a lot.
Like
I'm 48,
like
so we around
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
so yeah,
generation.
so
We get it.
yeah, so so
We've
you
been
understand,
through. Yeah. Yep.
the messaging was different. There was
Yep.
conversations,
a-
there were billboards, they were like, you know what I mean, and that kind of just went away
Absolutely.
over a period of time. you know
Exactly.
there there
Yep.
there there are youth that are, in the age demographic of like, again, 14 and 28, that
Yep.
don't know what HIV is and don't
Yes.
know. And the first time they find out about it is when they get tested, because they thought they had the flu, and they find
Yep.
out that you got full blown AIDS, or
Mm.
you know what I mean. So like,
Yep. Because
um
things are way looser now. I mean, not
yeah,
that we
so
weren't
yeah,
having sex back in our day, but it was a
yeah, I
bit
mean,
more restrained. But we were educated a bit more, and it was more. It wasn't. It was a bit more. I don't know, discernment. We had a bit more.
not for sure. I mean,
Because
it's
my
it's
daughter's
it
22, and I told her mama was getting it in too. We was
yeah,
getting it in, but it was
history
certain boundaries we had though. That's a
yeah,
little bit different than today.
history repeats itself, and knowledge is key, and health is the greatest wealth. So, none of us should have to be the sacrificial lamb for somebody else to know, to learn from. So yeah, I'm just doing my part. We did it last year. We did it. I did a tour with Lettucey. They wanted they had a goal that they wanted to meet, meaning Gilead. They wanted to touch and be able to communicate with, at least, they wanted to at least get on the radar of 30,000 women. So we superseded the expectation of that with 47,000 women um in less than 30 days. Like
Yeah.
or just about 30 days, a little over 30 days. So a lot of work been done, still a lot of work to be done. We want to get these numbers down to zero, and want to see people be healthy, you know?
Right. I love it. Well, I've enjoyed you, Raheem. Um, I appreciate the time and apologies for taking you over
No, you good. It's
the
cool. Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
We'll tell Raphael that for me because he was kind of fussing at me. So I'm
Nah, we
sorry.
good. We good. We
Tell him
good.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I
Tell him I'm
actually,
sorry.
I owed you like 3, 4 minutes. I came into the chat
No,
late.
okay.
You know what I mean? Three,
All
four
right.
minutes. So it's all good.
All right, all right. Well, tell him that for me. So everybody can find you the maxi scene, the reimagined version on all
Yeah.
platforms? Where can they follow you so they can get information on the tour
I'm
and
on
your future music?
Instagram. I'm on Instagram, Raheem underscore Devon. You know, the official website, Raheem Devon Online global. Um, Facebook.com/ Raheem Devon, YouTube, all the places. Like I'm not hard to find. And of course you can tune in to the show. You can tune it Monday through Friday, 7:30 to midnight. The original Quiet Storm on 96.3 WHUR. All the music of the culture that sounds like Washington. Tap in with me. We have a free downloadable app. You can listen, which means you can listen anywhere in the world. 7:30 East Coast Standard Time, my time. Check whatever your time zone is equivalent to that. Tap in with me. Download the app for Android or the iPhone, and yeah, I'm gonna talk my talk. It's gonna be sexy. We're gonna enjoy some vibes. You might even make that call that you ain't made in a minute. You know what I mean?
Listen,
When them
okay.
slow jams get to running, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I feel you. I'm married, but I ain't forgot. I ain't
And there it
forgot.
is.
So
There it
I
is.
appreciate you though, Raheem. And again, I
Yeah,
apologize for holding you over. And
no worries.
I look forward to when you come back to the D, and I look forward to watching the clips out on
I
tour.
gotta
Take
come back
care.
on the show and like just hang out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a intense press day or whatever, but I love, come back, special guest, whatever, co-host, sometimes or something like that. We'll figure it out.
Yes, please appreciate it. Please put the word in. I appreciate it. I would love to.
Yeah. All right.
I appreciate you. Take care.
Thank you.
Have a good
Peace and
evening.
love. Yep.
All
Right
right.
on.
You too. Bye bye.